Hello everyone, welcome back to our Python advanced session. So in last couple of days we were talking about Numpy arrays, how to define Numpy arrays, what is 1D, 2D or multi-dimensional array is, how you can define these arrays, how you can recognize array dimensions, and also how you can index and slice arrays. In case if you haven't seen those videos, there is a link in description box. That's the link of the playlist where you can find all the videos from beginner level up to now. And there is also a link of GitHub repository link where you can find all the exercises that we cover in our videos in the repository. So please go through that. So today we are talking about NumPy array methods and how you can do different calculations on NumPy arrays. And also today I'm going to show you how you can assign an empty array with a placeholder method. So there is a placeholder method. So first we need to import NumPy module, and here is placeholder matrix. What is, why we use placeholder matrix, what it is basically. So placeholder matrix is when you want to define your array and you don't know what values, what content there would be, but you know how big or what was the size of the data or matrix would be. So that time you assign placeholder arrays. So placeholder array basically has same value all over the array. For example, with zero method, the value that will be zero, but the size of the array would be the defined size. With ones method, all the value would be one that you can change later. So here, as I told you, with zero method, numpy dot zero, you give the size of the array. It's a 1D array or 2D array or 3D array, depend on that. You give the size of the array within parentheses. With ones method, it is the same, or the only difference is here the value would be, all value would be zero, and here all value would be one. So it is basically with the same value you are generating an array with basically no value inside. You have defined a default value there that you will update later. So here I have created an array 0 with np dot 0, and I have defined 2D array here with 3 rows and 4 columns. The same way I have defined one more array, that is ones, for np dot ones, and this also has the same size 2D array, 3 rows and 4 columns. If I run this, you will see there are 3 row matrix with 4 columns and with 2D array. I told you in last video as well, to know how many dimensions are there, you can check by first and last square brackets how many brackets are there. So there's 2 brackets, so this is 2D array. Here this value start from here and from here with 1 bracket, so this is 1D, one dimension. There is one more method called empty. So empty is used to create an array with uninitialized value. So this is an uninitialized array basically with random numbers, and that random numbers doesn't have any value that can be changed later. So it is just like 0 and 1, but because there we are not initializing any value in there, it is faster. So if you run this one, here I have defined 2D array again, but here 2 rows and 3 columns. If I run this, so you can see it got all zeros. Generally it get random numbers. That numbers can be a long digit in minus, plus, anything can be there, but this time it came only 0 here. Then now it is like how you do calculations with arrays. So for example, if you want to take out particular values from your array, particular elements from your array, for example, here I have created an array 1D. This is a 1D array with 10 to 100 values. And I want to take out only those values that are bigger than 50. So what I did here, I call array, and in the index value, I gave my condition, what kind of data I want to extract. So here I want to extract all the values that are bigger than 50. So I give array bigger than 50. So all the elements that are bigger than 50 will be extracted from this array and will print you in the output. You can define these arrays, you can put these values in a variable or in a list or create a new array as well. But here I'm just printing it to show you how you can perform these calculations. So if you run it, you can see all the arrays that are above 50 value, all the elements of the array has been printed. So you can put your condition in the index area to do some calculations, to give some conditions to extract data from array. For example, one more example here. So here I want to take out all even numbers from the array. So that's why I gave the condition here. If modular 2 equals to 0, then that value, that element of the array will be extracted. But I want power of two of those even numbers. So first I take out data from array and then I did the calculation in one go. So you can do this as well. Again, you can save this in a variable, in a list, or can create a new array with these calculations. So if you run it, you will get all the even numbers power of 2. You can even add two elements of array together. With the indexing, by giving index number, we can extract our element of array and then we can add it like normal we do our numbers. So here I did array 2 and array 3. So that means 0 index value is 10, first is 95, second is 32, and third is 16. So I'm adding 32 plus 16. So let's check what answer I get. It's 48. Yes, that is the right answer. So you can calculate, do calculation between the elements of the same array as well. Now you, here is, you can even do calculation among or between different arrays. So here I have array 1, this is 1D array which has value 1 2 3, and I have array 2 which is also 1D array and has value 4 5 6. If I want to add 4 plus 1, 5 plus 2, 6 plus 3, what I will do, I have created a new array, new add, and I'm adding array 1 plus array 2. So a new array, what I get, 5, 7, and 9. So it will iterate one by one all the elements and then it will combine both the elements together from first array and second array. Now, if you remember, I told you in the last video that there is only one data type in array. You cannot have multiple data types in array. If there is integer value, then all will be in integer. If there is float value, then all will be in float. So you can change data type as well. You can even assign, when you assign array, you can define your data type that time as well. How can we do that? Let's see here. So we use character of data types to define data type in arrays. So that is I for integer, B for boolean, U for unsigned integer, and so on. So there's a list you can read. To check data type of an array, we use air.datatype. If I run it, it is showing integer. Why? Because if you remember, we used our array variable here, which has all integer value. So that's why it printed us that what data type it has? Int data type. Now here, if you see Nissan, Renault, Mazda, Hyundai, they are in string data type. This array has a string data type. If you check this data type with d type, it show u6. So what does that u6 means? So UC define the string data type that indicates the unsigned integer basically. So it is a string data type and it is showing you because of unsigned integer. Now you can also define your data type while assigning your array. So here I am assigning array with values 1, 2, 3, 4 inside. All the values I have given in integer, but I want the data type of float. So I'm giving data type with F, and if I run this, you can see all the data type has been changed to float. Even if the you can change existing array data type with method of s type. So there is an string array and you can change with s type I. Can you see what's the problem here? Yes. So here our first index value is a is a string value, so you cannot change that string a character into integer. So that's why what will happen, it will throw an error. But if there is all numerical strings, you can change those into integer, like 4, 2 and 3. If I run it, now it's changed to integer. Like here, if it's float numbers, you can change to integer again with s type, d type to check. Here again, this time we are not using I character, we are using int. So you can even write the name of the data type as well. So here I'm writing int. Still, I can change my my array data type, values data type, from float to integer. Here I'm changing it boolean by the word bool. If I run it, because it's positive value 1 and 3, that's why it's true. 0, it's always false. Now there is another method called view and copy method. So copy method we use to create a new array that is the mirror of original one. So that means it will take all the data, all the elements and copy it to a new array. And view array is just to show the content of the original array, just for viewing, because view method is just showing. So if you change anything in view method, it will change in original as well. If you change in original array, then it will be changed in viewing array as well. But because copy method is you are copying data from there, so that means copy array is also having the same data as original array. But if you make any changes in original array, it will not change in copy array. The same, if you change anything in copy array, it will not affect to original array. So let's see in the example. For example, here I have an original array that has 5 values inside it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I am copying that array in copy array. I have created an array, copy array, and I'm copying original array into that. Now I'm changing index value 0 to 10. So what index value 0 has here? 1. And I'm changing it to 10. So if I run it, you can see original array has been changed to 10, but copied array didn't change. So copy array has all the values, previous values, because we copied the array before making any changes, right? Now if we check view method, here I have my original array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm making new array with viewing method. Now I'm changing again original array index value 0 to 10. And when I change it, you can see if I change original one, view will change too, because I'm using viewing array just to showcase or just to view original array contents. I'm not taking any data anywhere from it, right? Again, if you make any changes into new array, here I'm changing second index value to 20. So 0, 1 and 2, that means third index value to 20 of viewing array. If I run this, you can see it's changed into original array as well. So whenever you do any changes in viewing array or original array, it impact each other. But if you make changes in original array or copy array, it will not affect each other. So that means copy array owns the data, but view array does not own the data. and that you can check with base attribute, that this is a viewing array or this is a copy array. For example, here I'm using copy array with base method, and I'm also using viewing array with base method. So if copy array has its own content, then it will show none. But if any of the array doesn't have any content, its own content, then it will show the original object. So if I run it, you can say copy array has its own content because it doesn't have any effect of changes of original array. But view array has a content of original array, because if you change original array, this array also change. So that's why it's showing content, right? If you have any confusion, any doubt, please write in the comment box. Now you know how to iterate data. You have done this with sequence in Python. Now this is the same way. To iterate each element one by one from array, we use for loop. So here if I'm, because copy array is a 1D array, I'm trying to print that, then it will show you all the elements that copy array has: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I have 2D array. What will happen if I use the same for loop in 2D array? Yes, it will show only one index value, right? That is 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. But what happen if you want to iterate those values as well? Then you use two for loops. So basically, the more dimensions are there, the more for loops you need to print to use in the loop. So for two-dimensional array, you use 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. For three-dimensional array, you use three times loop. So here, for three times, for three-dimensional array, if you use one time for loop, what will happen? It will print you first value and then second index value, right? But if you want to take each element, then you have to run three times for loop, right? If I run this, then you will get all the values. But that will be a hazard, because it's not defined that there will be only three-dimensional array. It can be 4, 5, 6, 7, or many more dimensions in the array you can have when you work with real data. So to avoid using so many for loops, so many times the same process, you can use a function, a method called nditer. So you use numpy dot nditer, and then you give the name of the array. So here, if you see, for loop I'm using with np.nditer and array name, and if I print that item, you get the same result as you did here. All the elements has been iterated. Even with nditer, if you want to skip one index value, or you want to get alternate index value, then you can use slicing method here as well. And you can see it's 1, 2, 3 is first index value, then 4, 5, 6 is skipped, then 7, 8, 9, then 10, 11, 12 is skipped, right? Now how can you join two array? If there is two array and you want to make it one, then you use concatenate method to join two arrays into one. So for example, here I have one array that's 1, 2, 3 values. Second array has values 4, 5, 6. Then you can use np.concatenate, and then in the parentheses you give array 1 and array 2. And when you print it, you have a new array having all the elements into one. If you want to work with 2D array, then you define access as well. Because if you don't define access, then it will by default take 0. So if you run this, it is 2D array with combining all first index value together, second index value together. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 4, and 7, 8. There is also another method called stacking, that it stacks the content with each other. So that's been used with np.stack array 1 and array 2. And again, you define access 1 for 2D array, If you print it, you can see it's 2D, it's sorry, 3D. It created 3D array because what it did, it stacked 2D array together. 1, 2, and then 5, 6, 3, 4, and 7, 8. Right? If you, for example, don't give access here or 0, what will happen? Then it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it will take first array first and then second array second. So with index value, what it takes? It takes array 1 first index value, array 2 second index value, then array 1 second index value, array 2 second index value, right? With horizontal, there is also different stacks methods as well. This is horizontal stack, so it will take all the value horizontally. So in the array there will be one column because it will read, sorry, my bad. No, horizontally, that means it is the same you get with concatenate method, you will get the same. This is with vertical, you will get this one. If you run this, yes. So with vertically, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So first it will read first array and then it will stack all the contents together. Then it will take second array and then it will stack the content together. But if you notice, with only stack method, you get the result in 3D array, but horizontal and vertical stack, you get the result in 2D array. Then, if you look at depth stack, there is one more depth stack. If you run this, you can see this is also giving result in 3D array, and it is taking in depth. It read first element first, 1, and then 5, then second element second, 2 and 6, and then 3 and 7 and 4 and 8. Now these are the methods to join arrays. Now there are also method to split arrays. So for example, if you have 1D array and you have all elements from 1 to 9, and you want to split those arrays into different arrays, then you use array split method to create multiple arrays from one array. So here you use np dot array split, then you give array name and how many arrays you want to make with that array split, you give that number. So it will give you three different arrays from it. Here you see array 1, 1, 2, 3, array 2, 4, 5, 6, array 3, 7, 8, 9. If you give number in that way, that array cannot be distributed equally, elements cannot be distributed equally, then it adjusts array size accordingly. If you run this, you can see first array has 3 elements, but rest other elements has 2 elements in each array, and there are 4 arrays because we asked for 4 arrays here, right? Then here, if this was 1D array, now you talk about 2D array, and you can split that one also in the same method. It will take, you have created 4D array here. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements were there. So what it did, in first array it gave 2 elements. In second array it gave 2 elements of 2D array. In third array it gave 1, and in fourth array it gave 1. So it has adjusted its size accordingly. You can also define access number 1. That means you can also take along the rows. If you run this, then you can say it is taking one by one. 1, then 3, then 5, then 7. So it is taking one element as one 1D array, and it is dividing it in each row, and it is creating 2D array again. And it, because we asked two arrays here, so that's why array 1 and array 2, it is created two arrays, right? Now here is again we have horizontal split and vertical split. So if we run this, we are asking for two arrays. it will give you same result as you got with axis 1 because it is dividing horizontally. But if you do vertical array, then what it will do, it will take at least it took two elements together and it created column as well, right? So I hope you are understanding. If there is any confusion or any query about these, please write me in the comment box and I'll explain you more. Now here you can search particular element or particular value in the array with where method. But what where method returns? It returns index value where that element is if it gets a match. For example, here I have an array that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 4 value. And I'm checking how many times 4 are coming or where it is coming basically. So where method, what it will do, it will check all the 4s in the array and then it will show us all the index values where 4 value is. If I run this, you can see on third value 0, 1, 2, 3, third index value 4 is, then fifth index value, and then sixth index value, and data type is int. It is showing all the things here. There is sort method. If your array is unsorted and a randomly number is assigned, then you can use sort method with defining array inside parentheses. So here the array is sorted from descending to ascending order. Here again 2D array doesn't matter. It will sort the values element by element to this as well. I hope you get it. If there is any confusion, please write in the comment box. If you like my video, don't forget to press like button and don't forget to subscribe as well so that whenever I post my next video, you get the notification about it. If you haven't seen my videos, there is link in description box and there is also link of GitHub repository to see all the exercises that we do in our videos. So see you next time. Tomorrow we will do pandas. So if you can read pandas yourself, so it will be good so you understand it better. Hope to see you next time.